Next day, me and my brother started talking about Owlyglass as soon as we got up. He's on the way to Prague now, I said. He's not really going there now, said my brother. Owlyglass lived hundreds of years ago. I know, I said. So he can't be going there now, can he, my brother said. I know, I said. But you know what I mean. Till isn't going anywhere, said my brother. Horst is just telling us a story. Yes, but they're true stories, I said. No, they're not. He's just making them up, said my brother. No, he isn't, I said. They're stories about someone who really lived. Rubbish, said my brother. All right, we'll ask Horst. He'll tell us, I said. And that's what we did. Are the Owlyglass stories true? I said to Horst. It all depends what you mean by true, said Horst. Did they really happen? I said. Listen, said Horst. I believe they happened, and the man who told me the stories believed they happened. Does that make them true? Well, yeah, I said. No, it doesn't, said my brother, because the man who told you could have been lying. But he wasn't lying, was he? I said. Well, he might have been, said Horst. And then again, he might not have been. I can't stand this, I said. Just tell us another story, please, Horst. What happens next? Till was on his way to Prague, and it was winter. There was no time Till hated more than cold winter nights. In the summer, he could sleep out in the open or find a barn and sleep in the hay. But in winter, he had to tramp along the road all day, his feet getting frozen, hoping to find an inn where he could sit and warm himself by a big roaring fire. Of course, if he did find an inn, he could sit there and tell people all the funny things that had happened to him. And perhaps he could try out a trick or two on them. One evening, after a long cold walk through the snow and the wind, he came to an inn in the town of Eisleben. The innkeeper was another boastful man who kept saying how brave he was. Till went in and sat down by the fire. Not long after, 3 more travellers came in out of the dark, cold night. "Well, what time do you call this?" the innkeeper said. "Where have you lot been that keeps you out so late? Or have you been hanging about on the road or something?" The travellers said, "Keep your temper, innkeeper. A wolf was lying in wait for us by the side of the road through the forest, and we had to deal with him. In the end, we were able to fight him off. But that's why we're a bit late." When the innkeeper heard this, he burst out laughing. "You were held up by one single little wolf. I tell you, if I met 2 wolves while I was out, I would deal with them single-handed, finish them off. And there wouldn't be much left of them, I can tell you. And there you were, 3 of you, and you were scared of one single silly little wolf." The innkeeper went on and on, laughing at the 3 travellers. All the time, Till sat by the fire, listening. In the end, it was time for bed, and Till slipped into the room where the 3 of them were sitting talking. "We'll have to think of some way of dealing with this awful man," one of them was saying, "so that he doesn't bother us anymore." So Till said, "Look, friends, I think our innkeeper is all talk. Listen to me, and I don't think he'll ever boast about wolves again." Of course, the travellers were really pleased to listen. They promised they'd give Till some money if he could do what he said, and more than that, they'd pay his bill. "This is what you've got to do," said Till. "Tomorrow, you must leave the inn, go about your business, and then when you finish, just come back again as normal. I'll be here as well, and you'll see. I'll make him shut his mouth about this wolf affair." The travellers agreed, and the next day off they went, paying their bill and Till's as well. As they went, the innkeeper called after them, "Mind how you go, chaps. Make sure no big beastly wolf scares you on your way," and he fell about laughing. And the traveller said, "Thanks very much, innkeeper. Mind you, if the wolves eat us, then we won't be coming here again, will we?" Till left the same day. He hunted down a wolf, killed it, and covered it with snow and ice until it was frozen hard. Then he made his way back to the inn, hiding the dead wolf in a big sack. The travellers were already back at the inn, and the innkeeper was still going on about the wolf. 3 men and 1 wolf. Oh, what brave chaps you are. I tell you, if I met 2 wolves, I would grab one by the throat till it died, and at the same time, cut the other one to pieces. And so he went on and on till bedtime. Till kept quiet all the while. Then, just as before, he crept up to the traveller's room and said, "Gentlemen, don't put out your light yet, all right?" When the innkeeper was safely in bed and the whole inn was quiet, Till crept out of his own room. He took the dead, frozen wolf out of the sack and carried it into the kitchen. He propped it upright, stuck 2 children's shoes into its mouth, and then nipped back into the traveller's room. A few minutes later, Till called out loudly for the innkeeper. "Innkeeper! Innkeeper! Wait! Innkeeper!" The innkeeper, half asleep, called out. "What do you want?" "Send the maid to fetch us a drink or we'll die of thirst," Till shouted. The innkeeper wasn't happy about it. "For goodness sake, you lot, drinking day and night, you'll drive me mad." But he sent for the maid all the same to fetch them all a drink. The maid got up, went down to the kitchen, and there was the wolf. Terrified, she saw the shoes in its mouth and thought it had eaten the children, and now it would eat her. She rushed out of the inn and hid behind a barrel in the yard. A few minutes later, Till called out again. "Innkeeper! Innkeeper! Where's our drink? What's keeping you?" Now the innkeeper called the manservant, not knowing what had happened to the maid. And when the servant went downstairs to the kitchen, he saw the wolf and thought it had eaten the maid and the children, so he dashed off in a panic and hid in the cellar. Now Till turned to the travellers and said, "Hang on, lads. It's the innkeeper's turn next, and we're in for a really good laugh." Then he called out, "Innkeeper! Innkeeper, where's that drink in heaven's name? We're dying of thirst here if the maid and the manservant can't fetch it. Fetch it yourself, will you?" The innkeeper was furious. "You people make me sick with your constant drinking. Drink, drink, drink. It's all work for me, you know." But even so, he got up and went downstairs. And there was the wolf, with the children's shoes in its jaw. He rushed upstairs, straight into the traveller's room. "Come, quick, quick," he cried. "Help me, help, downstairs in the kitchen. There's a terrible beast. It's eaten the children, the maid and the manservant. What am I going to do?" So Till and the travellers crept downstairs with the innkeeper. When they went into the kitchen, Till walked over to the wolf and poof, gave it a kick so that it fell over with a bang. Then he called the maid from the yard and the manservant from the cellar, and he turned to the innkeeper and said, "Look at it. The wolf's dead, and there's you screaming your head off. What a scared little fellow you are. Do you think a dead wolf is going to bite you? But hang on! Wasn't it you last night who was so brave that 1 wolf wouldn't be enough for you to have a fight with? Weren't you the man who said you needed 2 wolves to prove yourself?" When the innkeeper heard this from Till, he crept back to his room. He felt so ashamed that he'd been scared of a dead, frozen wolf. But the travellers loved it. They laughed, and they gave Till a purse full of money and took him with them on their way to Prague. "Is that all?" I said. "Yes," said Horst. "But Till hasn't got to Prague yet. You said we'd hear about Prague." "But he's got to get there first," said Horst. "Well, can we hear about it now?" I said. "Oh, no. The Prague story will take much too long," said Horst. "No more stories today. Off you go. And mind the snake on the stairs." "What snake?" I said. "He's only joking," said my brother. And off we went.